I'm gonna have to bathe you now. That's unfortunate for the both of us.
Now we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. It goes round and round in circles, but I'm still on the ground. It's a dizzying day.
We basically spent the entire morning outside. We went in to get ready, came back out, and it's pouring. So very much needed. We are not complaining about the rain. Our pond for sure needs it, but our whole entire project today is supposed to be outside. So we're gonna make the best of it. We're not gonna change things up. We're just gonna prepare to get a little wet.
Or just sit beside me and never leave. I got the curtains up. I guess it would be nice if you could interrupt. It's a day like this. It's a day I really would have missed. It's getting real dark in here. Feels like I've been here 1,000 years. Could you bring some light to me? Or just sit beside me and never leave? It's getting real dark in
We're gonna be working on the undersiding of our house and enclosing that, but to do that we're going to be milling our own wood. We had a ton of trees that we needed to cut down around the house just for either safety, solar panels, or things like that, and so instead of them just going to firewood or to waste, we're going to utilize them in siding that's going to enclose the bottom of the containers.
So now that we have the log on, we're gonna get some lube for the blade and then fire it up and get to going. I use the log clamp down to clamp the log down. I'm definitely ready to add an electric winch to that. We have a Harbor Freight sawmill, and that's what we're going to be using to cut all the planking for the siding. I'm going to be cutting 6-inch planks. We're going to be overlapping them like this basically. Each one will be sitting on top of the other. That way, if there's any rain that gets on it, it'll be able to run off. And that'll also help us with the fact that we're using green wood. But since we're using green wood, it's not completely dried, and the wood will shrink a little bit once it does start to dry out. If we were to put them side by side, then eventually when the wood dries, it would leave us with the gap in between each one of the planks. planks. Overlapping it pretty much will prevent that from happening. Our log's set up so the top part where we're gonna make our first cut is pretty much flat the whole way through. That'll give us a nice consistent edge whenever we're done. And I got the blade lowered to where it gives us about 6 inches of the good part of the wood. Gives us more like 8 inches.
There's tons of ways that you can mill wood, and I honestly don't know the specific name for this, and I'm sure Cody can tell you. But basically, we're gonna get this down to one solid cant. So since trees have a whole bunch of knots and grooves, we're going to shave down each side to where it's a flat level surface, and then we'll be able to cut all of our planks.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your
So this is what's called a cant. It's pretty much just a log turned into a square piece of wood after milling. And then after getting it down to a cant, basically just shave off one side at a time to continue cutting our boards as we need it. We have the cant 8 inches across, and then we're just taking slices off 5/8 of an inch thick to make our paneling.
will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope? You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours.
We just put 2 planks up to the house to kind of see how it was gonna look. And then in terms of how we're going to actually attach it to the house,
We're gonna frame out a wall basically, just do 2x4 framing and then attach the siding to that.
our main focus the next couple days is going to be cutting these planks and making sure that we have enough. And then once we get a majority of our planks, we're going to start on the framing. Do you have any ideas for along the bottom? I think we're probably going to do gravel, but we've been kind of toying around and seeing what we want to do in terms of we don't want the wood to touch directly onto the ground because then you have like rotting and things like that.
What did you do? Look at your paws. Ma'am, I'm gonna have to bathe you now. That's unfortunate for the both of us.
Boys. Currently we have all of our wood stacked up on the duck coop and then also sitting right behind it because we do not have a permanent drying area. And while we are going to be putting green wood on the house fairly quickly, talking about like in the next couple of days, it cannot all sit on the duck coop, so let's make a spot for it. Underneath the container is obviously going to be our driest area, so we found a nice level spot here. And then Cody took these extra cinder blocks that we had, put them in a row, and I think this is where we're going to dry our wood temporarily. We eventually are going to make an entire shed for drying wood and all of that good business, but for the sake of getting this project done, this is what we're doing. Okay, I will throw the ball.
Now we're gonna cut off some small pieces of plywood, that way we can have strips to space out our wood in between each piece. This allows air to be able to get in between each piece of wood and help it to dry more evenly. processing the first log, we figure we have about 96 board feet of wood that we cut. Not quite enough to make it one time around the house even, but pretty close. So I'm estimating that we're probably gonna need about 6 logs to be able to make it around. And that's just a rough estimate off the top of my head and doing a little bit of math on my phone a couple seconds ago. So I could be completely wrong, but that's about what I'm guessing. Well, obviously we have our work cut out for us. It's gonna take quite a while, and I'm gonna be cleaning up a lot of sawdust in a lot of places.
While Cody's running the mill, let's start on some dinner. I'm making shepherd's pie, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is get my potatoes in a boil, and I'm just gonna give them a rough chop. Into the water they go, and I don't peel my potatoes, and it's 100% because I'm lazy. If you like to peel your potatoes, go for it, but not in my house. I'm gonna brown up all of my veg and then remove it and brown up my meat. I browned and seasoned my meat. I'm gonna add back in my veg, 2 tablespoons of flour, and then just stir it for about 2 minutes. Some wine, broth, and then a nice little stir. That's good. I'm gonna cover it and then start working on my mashed potatoes. We're gonna go in the oven at 400 for about 40 minutes or so.
I think we have a pie thing for that.
Yeah, I know, I'm lazy.
Oof, delicious.
Okay, I want a little more.
Oh, too steamy. Back it up.
Back it up, Terry. I got this wood rack the other day at the Goodwill for $3. Such a steal.
The sun's finally, oh, hello. The sun's finally starting to come out, but it's still pretty chilly outside, so we decided to get a fire going because summer's always cold. But I wanted to show you these really cool fans that our friends Lisa Mack and Kurt Graham got us from YouTube. They're completely heat powered, heat from the stovetop going to the bottom, and then the cool air touching the top of it. Basically the difference in the two makes it make electricity. So thanks guys, we really appreciate it. No batteries. Pretty cool, and they actually do move a decent amount of air. Definitely helps circulating the heat around.
At night, we'll typically move one over here and then one towards our bedroom to circulate both areas of the house. Attack of the freaking ladybugs.
Yeah, we're gonna have to grab some traps.
We have a ton of trees to mill, and then we're gonna start working on framing in the next couple days. I think the next video y'all will see though is going to be something a little bit more on the fun side. We're gonna take a break from all of the projects and work on something a little bit more fun. Not so worky, housey, but more enjoyment.
Relax.
So I'm really excited about that, so be expecting that. We don't really have any questions, but I do have a request. If you want to send us a postcard, we have our P.O. Box information, and the reason I ask is because I want to make a table and then do something with them and like kind of Mod Podge them and have like this big table for outside that's basically all of you guys. I think that would be, yeah, I think that would be freaking amazing. So
Yeah, we can make like a big picnic table or picnic bench and then put all the postcards on it and then put a clear epoxy over it to seal it all in. So
if you want to send us a postcard, we would absolutely love that, and if you do, we will send one back. Be expecting that in like the next month or so as we get them in and stuff like that. If we even get any in. I don't know. We'll see. Bye.
bye.
Baby, don't you